Now, here we go now.
Touchdown, Cooper. That was DeMarcus Lawrence.
They can't stop us. Keep hitting him in the mouth. Keep hitting him in the mouth. They can't stop us.
Keeps his feet to the 10. Touchdown, Elliott. Gallup leaping. Touchdown.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Another week, another offensive showdown at AT&T Stadium. This one does not go in favor of the Dallas Cowboys as the Cleveland Browns come down and defeat the Cowboys 49-38 at home in Week 4 of the NFL season. Welcome in to Cowboys Game Night. Kyle Youmans alongside the great Nate Newton as we break down this 11-point Cowboys loss as they fall to 1-3 on the NFL season. I mentioned it was an offensive shootout, and we saw plenty of numbers from both sides as we take a look at some of the final stats from this ball game. And Nate, over 500 yards of total offense from the Cowboys side of things and the Browns side of things, but they gave up the most rushing yards out of any defense in the history of the Cowboys franchise. But the stats don't tell the story. You got to win the game.
No, you got to win the game. You start out well. We want to start fast. We punted, had 2 touchdowns. Then we came back with 2 fumbles. You cannot do that and sustain what you needed to do. These guys came out, they told you we're going to rush the ball with Nick Chubb and Fuller, and boy, did they rush the ball. In the first half, they was up around 9 yards per carry. That is too much. They handled our defense. They still got behind our secondary with Odell Beckham. Nice route running by Jarvis and the tight end. So the Cowboys cannot sustain any consistency in the first half. Yeah, they're great in the second half. They can pad the stats, but you need a win. And the day against Cleveland, it should have been a big win.
Yeah, the stats look great again, and really a lot of that on the back end of it. And Dak Prescott, 502 passing yards in the game, second most in Cowboys history. Let's hear from QB1 after the game.
Dak, would one of your largest frustrations coming out of this game be just that some of the patterns that have hurt you earlier hurt you again today, falling behind early, turnovers, not much margin of error with the defense struggling a bit?
I mean, you said it, making the same mistakes over and over again. We keep hurting ourselves on offense, putting our defense in a bad spot, and that's what's not starting fast enough, and that's what's been killing us over the past few games. And once again, it's what hurt us tonight. And as you said, yeah, that's definitely frustrating. It's just making the same mistakes over and over.
How hard was that out there, the early part of that game to steal, to protect you after you had a strip sack from Miles Garrett? How hard was it to get going until you made the switch at tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. Those guys are going to go in there and they're going to battle their tails off. Let's get this right. Miles Garrett's a hell of a player. One of the best pass rushers in this game. So, I mean, he was fighting. He was giving it his all. Miles did a good job of getting to me. Obviously, we're setting up a little double move there, and Miles got to me, got to the ball. And as I said, we can't continue to turn the ball over. I've got to be better somehow and help that tackle out, move around, get off my spot. But we've just got to we've got to continue to work on these little things and these things that are hurting us.
For the third straight game, you had over 450 yards passing. You passed for more yards than anybody through the first 4 games of the season. Does that mean anything to you at this point?
No, not at all. I mean, I'd give all those yards back for a different record. So I care about one stat, and that's to win. So when we don't do that, no other stats matter.
As always, winning is the priority in Dallas. That was not the case today as the stats overtook the win, and Cleveland comes out on top 49-38. When we come back, we hear from DeMarcus Lawrence on what was a disappointing day from the defensive line when we come back on Cowboys Game Night.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly.
It definitely was not the day that the Dallas Cowboys wanted against a stout offensive line from Cleveland. The defensive line handled for what was 7.5+ yards per carry on a rushing attack. Here's what DeMarcus Lawrence had to say following the loss.
DeMarcus, how would you address the defensive struggles you had as a unit today on that side of the ball?
In my own words, I'll call it soft. We got to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We got to play together as one. And I don't feel like we're holding ourselves accountable, including myself. So I call the shit soft, and we'll get better from it.
Marcus, how surprising is it to see what happened today?
Say it again.
How surprising is it to see this today? You know they're going to run the ball, and they're able to go for 307 yards.
Yeah, it's not no surprise. I mean, we just got to do a better job of preparing and, really come with our full hearts in the game and play this game for 60 minutes straight. It's just all about bowing down and really showing, that you're a real man out there and playing together.
DeMarcus, do you think your scheme is sound enough to try and stop offenses moving forward?
It's not my job to think about what's right or what's wrong. My job is to go out there and try to make as many plays to help my team win the game. And I don't feel like I'm doing that right now, and I'll get back to it.
Marcus, why do you think this team is 1-3?
Like I said, we came out the gate soft. And in different words, I can call it something else, but it's just all about having some grit and, playing balls to the wall and going out there and giving it everything you got.
In the words of DeMarcus Lawrence, the defense did look a little bit soft, especially in that first half, Nate, and really 24 points in that second quarter. Cleveland took advantage.
Third string running back, 13 carries, 95 yards. Fourth string running back, 5 for 19. Odell Beckham, 3 for 25. Quarterback, he rushed for yards, 7.7 yards per carry. 300+ yards. That's an NFL record. That's embarrassing. I agree with you, DeMarcus. We got to get up off our rears and play some tough ball, including yourself, man. You are our alpha dog. You're the man. It's time for you to show it, my friend.
Other than DeMarcus Lawrence, where's a spot on that defensive line that you could see a little bit of improvement from when you need it the most from the Cowboys?
Alden Smith is playing well, and I think Joe Thomas is playing well. But in order for Joe Thomas to play great, or for Jalen to play great, not making no excuses, our offensive line, our defensive line, Dontari Poe has to play well. Woods has to play well. Crawford has to play well, and they have to keep these people off of our linebackers. Their line was getting to the second level. Bill Callahan did a masterful job of putting this together because when Chubb went down, we said, in the studio, but they say no, and they went to rushing. Wow.
Yeah, it was the day that Cleveland wanted rushing the football. Wasn't the day that Dallas wanted. When we come back, we hear from Ezekiel Elliott and what he had to say after a disappointing 49-38 loss to Cleveland.
Segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly. This segment is brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
12 carries, 54 yards, and a fumble for Ezekiel Elliott today. He did have 71 yards receiving, but overall, you can see the disappointment on his face. Let's hear from what he had to say.
Zeke, when you look back on this game, you share thoughts on those back-to-back turnovers from you and Dak and how it might have turned things around for you guys.
What was the question? You said, how do we turn things around? Hello? Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Those two turnovers in this game, one from Dak, one from yourself, on back-to-back possessions. How did that mess up the game for you guys a little bit?
It's terrible to turn over the ball. We've been turning over too much. Me, myself specifically, I need to just have more focus and hold on to it. But, I mean, anytime you give the ball away, it should change the momentum, and then 2 back-to-back is never good.
When you were sitting on the guy's helmet, did you think you were down, or did you hear a whistle or anything?
I honestly don't remember. It happened so fast.
What are your thoughts on what is Mike McCarthy's message to you guys after a 1-3 start?
We got to figure this thing out. We got to figure out how to find some confidence. We got to figure out just how to come out hotter. I mean, we're not coming out with enough confidence at the beginning of the game, and it's showing.
Can you pinpoint as to why that is?
No.
How was practice this week? Was practice crisp the way you guys liked the practice, or was it a little slow?
Practice was crisp this week. It probably was our best week of practice.
Just your thoughts on the run game, and last couple. You're going up against a pretty good run defense. Just your thoughts on how you guys did against the run.
Hold on, say it again. You said how we do against the run?
Yeah, how do you think you guys fared as a running attack against Cleveland?
I think we did, a solid job. We got down early, and that kind of eliminates the running game. But I think we were heading to a good place.
And, of course, the turnovers really paying dividends whenever they talk about the running game. You see just the gaudy numbers for Cleveland, Nate. It just didn't turn out that way for Dallas.
You're talking to a veteran running back in Ezekiel Elliott. You're talking to a veteran quarterback when we talk about Dak. These guys should not be doing this. They should not be turning the ball over. They know how critical it is for this team in the first half. We're giving up ungodly numbers. We're not helping our defense by not playing well in the first half. So these guys got to look themselves in the mirror, and I'm talking about Dak, and I'm talking about Zeke, and then fix your game, man, because they're depending on you down the stretch to hold this team together.
You got to find a way to hold on to the football and keep it in your side of the field. And I think today, once again, it showed that whenever your offense turns over the football, it's going to make things tough on your defense. One bit of positivity, it was a big day for C.D. Lamb, the rookie wide receiver. We hear from him when we come back here on Cowboys Game Night.
This segment was brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It was a big day for first-round wide receiver C.D. Lamb. He caught career touchdown passes, number 1 and number 2. He talks about that after the game.
C.D., what's your thoughts on the start of this ball game? Zeke had talked about the slow start you guys are having as an offense. What are your thoughts about why you guys continue to have these slow starts?
Honestly, I don't really understand why, but it's definitely going to be the point of emphasis from this point on, because it's week 4 and we've been having the same problems, and we understand that. We in the NFL, we can't just make a fourth quarter run every game like we did week 2. Granted, we had a great run this game, but I mean, obviously with the slow start we had, kind of slimmed our chances down.
CD, what are your thoughts on how Dak played today? Obviously threw for over 500 yards again. Just like someone would look at the numbers and say, man, he's just throwing the ball over the field, but you guys are down. Just your thoughts on how he played.
Dak, definitely. He's continuing to put together great numbers, distributing the ball to all the receivers that we have here, and obviously getting the running backs and tight ends involved also. So he's been very consistent up to this point, but I feel like there's a lot better. I feel that he can do better, and I feel like as a team overall, as an offense, I feel like we can do better to help him boost his numbers even more, and we got to contribute to the win. He can have the great numbers all he wants, but that's never really satisfied us, especially coming from a game that didn't end in our favor. So just going into next week, we just gotta go in with a different mindset.
That's your first season there. Your thoughts on? You go ahead.
CD, there on your first touchdown, when the ball's just in the air, what's going through your mind at that point? I know you were pretty wide open there. Just what was going through your mind, and how did it feel to get in the end zone?
For one, definitely a great feeling to get back in the end zone, yet again in Dallas. But for the first time in my NFL career, it's definitely a cherishable moment, and I'm never going to forget it. And the ball definitely felt like it was in the air for a long time, just looking at it. But when it finally came down, I made sure to, bring it in.
It's the second straight week that Dak Prescott broke his own career mark of passing attempts. This week he had 58, last week 57. This time he goes for 502, and a lot of that in the fourth quarter, Nate, when they put up 24 unanswered points. But overall, this wide receiving core is the real deal.
Oh, they're a great group of guys, and CeeDee Lamb is really learning, and you see how the tight ends are really learning and doing what they have to do. But they have to be more consistent. Like we said at the beginning, they started out, they punted, 2 touchdowns, then a turnover, and then they don't score the rest of the half. So you go down 31-14. That is no consistency. And so they have to build some type of. Dak was, I think, 41 for 58. Good numbers, but they're back-end numbers. And I don't want to call them empty, but they're back-end numbers, and we need to pick it up in the first half, and CeeDee Lamb is really learning.
Yeah, he really is, and he's becoming a part of that whole passing group as a whole. But whenever it comes to Dak Prescott and just holding on to the football, there was the strip sack. Myles Garrett made a fantastic play. He was able to recover later on with the statistics, but you can't turn the football over if you're Dak Prescott.
And in this new NFL, due to the pandemic, everybody's scoring. No, have you ever seen just Cleveland come out and score this many points? Everybody's scoring. The defenses are behind. Normally the offense is behind, but the defenses are behind. But it's the offense with the quarterback that is most consistent with no turnovers, who can score in the first half, set the tempo, and finish in the second half.
Yeah, it was 34 unanswered points between the second quarter and the third quarter for the Browns, and that ultimately ended up being the difference as the Cowboys fall 49-38. When we come back, we'll tie a bow on this one and look ahead to Giants Week here in Dallas.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, Reliant, an NRG company, and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
49-38, the final score from AT&T Stadium as the Dallas Cowboys fall to the Cleveland Browns and also fall to 1-3 in a game that included over 1,000 yards of total offense. It was an offensive shootout again between a Cowboys team and a Cowboys opponent, but Kyle Youmans, Nate Newton wrapping things up here on Cowboys Game Night. The Giants come in to AT&T Stadium. You get another home game this week, the first divisional game of 2020. Cowboys got to take advantage of the line of scrimmage.
Oh, they definitely do, man. Both offensively and defense. We didn't do that today. Cleveland came in and controlled us. Our defensive line, they ran through us for 300-plus yards. Our offensive line is a little banged up, but that's no excuse, man. Myles Garrett was running loose early in the game and took over and allowed their secondary to be good enough to defend us. So the line of scrimmage, that's where it starts, first and foremost.
Yeah, you got to have a better defensive line play. Your offensive line can't allow a guy like Myles Garrett to make such a big impact, but that's exactly what happened. Luckily, you got Tyron Smith back this week, and he played well. Hopefully, he's back for this Week 5 matchup against the Giants as well, but overall, it's going to be another tough one, and the Cowboys need to get back to 2-3 before you start really looking at the rest of the NFC East as a division. That's going to do it for us here on Cowboys Game Night as the Cowboys fall by 11. For Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week here on Cowboys Game Night.
Go.